that's better. You can maybe hear me now. I just had the aircon blasting for a bit because it's a warm day, guys. It really is. I still got that bloody bruise on there. It's a real dark bruise on my arm. Don't know what I did it on. Oh dear. Yeah, it's a really beautiful day. It really is. A little on the hazy side, but not a lot of cloud around, just a bit here and there. Keeps going extremely blue and then just clouding up again just a little bit, but better than what it has been. It's not been cold or anything, you know. We've had some rain, not a lot, just a bit, and, you know, it's just generally been warm all the time, warm and muggy. I think there was one night that got a little bit chilly, but I think that was just because the day had been warm, so it feels colder, doesn't it? So yeah, just off into town, pick up a few bits for tea. I wish I'd opted to do, didn't really know it was going to be quite like this yesterday. It was sort of, yeah, it was a bit greyed over yesterday, so I wasn't really expecting this today. So I wish I'd sort of known and opted for something a bit cooler, like a salad. But I'm actually doing a beef dinner, so I'm not going to spoil a joint of beef by doing it with a salad or anything like that. So no, I'm going to do a proper dinner with Yorkshire puddings and everything. So yeah, it's been a bit of a slow week. I've still got a few bits and pieces that need catching up with and what have you. But it's mainly been sort of just small jobs here and there, you know, sort of toilets and stuff like that. I replaced the toilet. Actually, that was a really strange one. I've known you know, toilet pans get cracked and stuff like that, leak. This particular one, there was no cracks in it or anything like that, but it'd been leaking. I would say it's been leaking pretty much since it was brand new, and just slowly gotten worse. And it was a really strange thing, this. But basically, I suppose it's difficult to explain. I wish I'd taken a picture of it actually to show you. But basically, I changed a back to the wall toilet. Obviously, it wasn't back to a wall, but it was back to a unit. So, you know, with a hidden cistern inside the unit and what have you. And we just replaced the lot because what it was, the leak couldn't be found. It wasn't leaking from anywhere visible, but there was water coming from underneath the front of the toilet. When we took the toilet out, we took it outside and tipped it upside down. That was when we found what had been leaking. Now, when you looked inside the bottom, where the front edge of the toilet comes down, there was a run mark, a black run mark, where water had obviously been trickling down. And it was, when you looked, basically it'd come from what had obviously been patched up at the point of manufacture. There'd obviously been a little hole and it had been plugged up with some kind of filler. And somehow the water had leached up inside the pottery, basically, because obviously it is just a ceramic pottery that's then, you know, cast and fired. But it had somehow obviously come up through a very fine hole, and this hole had obviously eventually eroded bigger. But the water must have come upwards first, because this was actually above the water level, so it must have leached upwards through, you know, through some form of sort of hydraulic action, and then come down the front foot of the toilet. Very bizarre, very, very bizarre. I've not seen anything like it before. And the plumber that I was with, you know, he's been plumbing 40 years, you know, since he left school, basically, and he's never seen anything like it either. Very strange. Yeah, it was a really bizarre thing. What's she doing? She's trying to make a decision on where to park, I think. Saw me talking to a phone thinking I was weird probably, and then just decided not to. So yeah, anyway, yeah, we'll get shopping. Yes, it's the next day again, guys. As you can see, I'm now in a work t-shirt. Dear me. Life is just so fraught with a bit of busy at the minute. And it's not so much work either, although it's about to get very busy, I think. I've actually just come into Bridlington to see my dad, actually. I've just been down and seen him. I intended to go for around about an hour. I've ended up where it's only a little over half an hour. Mainly because his tea turned up, so I thought, well, I'll leave him in peace to eat. But I'll be seeing him again anyway. I'm hoping to see him during the week, and obviously there'll be next weekend because it's Father's Day on Sunday, next Sunday, isn't it, here in the UK. So yeah, but I haven't done much today other than actually just go and inspect a toilet that it would appear to have a cracked bowl. There's no water on anywhere near the back, but at the front there's a strong wet patch that's obviously been there a while because it's been making the underneath the carpet go a bit mouldy on the flooring. So chances are, but I mean that's not actually my job, so chances are that'll turn into a new toilet to fit there. Strangely enough, we actually fitted a toilet in the house next door to it about a month or so ago. And what else? But I've got to get back now, have my tea, and then I've got an appointment to go and look at a bathroom with what I can gather is a long-term leak that has steadily gotten worse and has now turned into a possible gush. Strangely, they said, no, I've got to go to work now, so you can't come and inspect till about 6:15, so it can't really be that bad, although they seem to think that the floor might be going rotten, so we'll have to see about that. I'll just turn that down a bit more. That's it. The traffic's just starting to pick up a bit. Come on, people. So yeah, I've got to go and inspect that, and I've just been informed that I've been given the go-ahead for another bathroom where they've already got all the parts, but it's quite a large bathroom and it's going to be quite a fancy one, so that's going to keep me busy for quite a number of days, I think. There's some wet wall involved and all hidden plumbing for wall-mounted taps and what have you. So some fancy hands grow the waterfall type that just stick straight out of the wall. So yeah, so it's going to be all fun and games. So yeah, that's going to keep me going for a bit. So and I know I'm on starting tomorrow. I'm working on a shower room with another plumber. So yeah, things are about to pick up and get really busy, I think. I've also somehow got to go and fit some of the doors. Probably sort of like go and hang one on an evening sort of thing, or something along those lines. You know, one at a time. I think there's 3 to actually hang and 2 to look at. Something like that. It might be 4 to hang. I can't remember. I think it's 3 to hang and 2 to make adjustments to make them work. So yeah, it's all fun and games. Let's try and change your mind, that's all. Doesn't it annoy you when drivers suddenly change their mind on which lane they're in? They obviously know the area, otherwise they wouldn't be dashing through the roundabout at such speed. I tell you, you've got to have eyes up your behind to drive some places these days, and Bridlington is no exception to that. So yeah, it was just you know, just busy with life, cooking and cleaning up afterwards, and still had another run out to the town to do and stuff like that yesterday. So you know, it all just gets on top of you, and obviously you haven't got less time than I had when I used to do it before all the work came along. But I think some of it is down to anything extra sort of, it clouds your mind a bit. I think that's the problem. So I suppose it's just finding a way to separate the two, so that if I'm not working, I'm not working, and I'm doing the vlog or whatever. Do you know what I mean? It's a matter of separating those two in your head more than anything else, psychologically. Because obviously, I've constantly got stuff going through my head of what I've got to do, and you know, stuff like that. You're mentally always working. Lots of horses along here, travellers' horses. I don't think the camera will pick any of them up. It might do. Yeah, just pick one up there. It's always been a travellers' area around here. I think they're just travelling with the whole Appleby thing at the minute. You know, because the gypsies always take their horses to the Appleby thing, don't they? Is it a show or like a big gymkhana or something? It's like a show, isn't it? And they always take their horses because I know they have to have a big RSPCA turnout there to keep an eye on the horses, make sure that they're not running them too hard when it's hot. So yeah, I don't like coming to Bridlington. It's shocking. Fortunately, the roadworks that we're on have just finished on the main road. It's been quite sort of fraught, really, with a lot of problems. There we go. We're off. A lot of motorcycles coming out now. That was a Triumph Bonneville there, although I think it was one of the more recent ones. Yeah, a lot of motorcycles coming out. Obviously, the warm weather. You start to see a lot more of them here on the UK roads, especially around sort of areas like this with coastal resorts and what have you. You start seeing them. They flock to the area. The Lake District is another big one where you see a lot of them will suddenly turn out. Oh, large police presence there. 2 vehicles. Probably just all on the way home for tea, to be honest. There is a reasonable sized police station in Bridlington. Drifield's got one, and they can never make their mind up between it's a manned station and an unmanned station. It keeps swapping between the two, and then of course what happens is it becomes unmanned again. the trouble picks up again, or any problems, so they have to reman it. And otherwise they're constantly running between Beverley and Driffield. Any minor things these days, they don't really get looked at by the law anyway. You know, I mean, they're just not. They're not sort of funded well enough. You know, they haven't got the staff. You know, this is what happens, isn't it, when you make cuts to your police force, your law enforcement. So, and it's all right, you know. It's serious to the person it's happening to. It's just not a serious enough thing for, you know, like theft and that. It's not a serious enough thing for them to drop everything and run to you. Yeah, they've been gritting this entire section, a real long section of it. Some of the grit's still loose, so you've still got signs up telling you, you know, loose chipping, slow, and no road markings and stuff like that. Even though you know yourself, you go past some of it, you can plainly see it's got fresh road markings on it. They just haven't moved the signs. Oh dear. Yeah, but there is still a fair few loose chippings around here. Actually, the sweeper's been down, but they could obviously do with coming down again. And we're back to plain tarmac again here, and I'm pretty sure it's just had some chippings a little further down as well. I know just outside my village the main road has actually been chipped, and it's also got its fresh paint lines on now. But I noticed back there, even though they've got the paint lines on, they haven't put the cat's eyes back in. This is a real bendy section in the road back there that really does need the cat's eyes. It's every year the same. This stretch of road, it's the main thoroughfare for those, you know, for people who live in like West Yorkshire and that. And you'll get, they just come down through by the absolute road load. Come through to Bridlington and Scarborough and places like that, you know. It's the nearest sort of seafront, you know, so you got day trippers. Because I mean, it's only sort of what, hour and a half drive for some of them, hour maybe. But the road just clogs, and I mean it clogs. You know, I've known it sort of like tail back for sort of like 4 or 5 miles easily, and it's just bumper to bumper crawling speed. It's horrendous. So yeah, and it just happens every year, and they always seem to pick that time to do the bloody roadworks. You just think, why? Why not? I mean, I know it's sort of like it's all to do with the tarmac and the temperatures and stuff like that, but you would have thought just throw a little more heat at it, get it down quick. You know, do it in the colder end of the year. It makes more sense. You know, people go on about, you see them abroad, going like the clappers, but Germany's of similar sort of climes to us, and in Germany they throw roads down like nobody's business. You know, it's like you got the scraper going down, picking up all the old stuff, blowing it all off into a wagon, and then right behind it you've got the tarmac laying machine, and behind that you got the rollers, and behind that you got the painters. You know, it literally just travels along laying the tarmac, and you just think, why don't they do the same here? Surely would be a damn sight more beneficial and keep the country moving at a more efficient rate, wouldn't it? It's crazy sometimes. Oh, blimey. Just looking at that building work there, they've got they're obviously going to do the roof, but they've got scaffold up, and right next to it they've obviously had to have the power cables sleeved. You know, the power cables are like 5 or 6 inches away from the scaffolding. That's crazy. You would have thought they'd have lifted the cables or something. And here we are in Burton Agnes. It's a village I used to live not far away from, but more sort of off the beaten track. Through my teen years. Actually, when you get to the other side of Burton Agnes, when you look across the fields to the south there, you could sort of see where I lived, because there used to be a petrol station further out, the village here, further up on the right hand side here, and you used to be able to see that from our house. You could look out the window and see it, but it was like you probably look at it was a good squint like to see it, because you're probably looking what, about 2 miles in a straight line, something like that. Yeah, you used to go down there, and that pond is absolutely heaving with water now, the Magnus Duck Pond. And I was just saying to somebody the other day, actually, there's been a problem with that pond for years. Don't know whether it dried out, cracked its base, or what. Nobody could make their mind up what was actually wrong with it, but it was just a mud bath. There was very little water in it, and I remember in my teen years it was deep enough to nearly cover a car that had once clipped the curb, gone over the railing and landed in the pond, and only the tip of its roof was sticking out. And I was saying to somebody I hadn't seen it like that, as it should have been since my teens. You know, I'm talking about in my teens, so you're going back a lot of years, and all of a sudden all this deluge of water that we've been getting over the last sort of like couple of months or so, it's brought it back up to those sort of levels that I remember. It's quite amazing, really. So they're all up in arms. We had a notification through the pre-planning stage for the telecoms mast to go in down on the recreation ground right in the bottom sort of southeast corner of the rec ground, and that's great. I mean, our area does suffer. There are parts of the village that if you walk to them where you can get a good sort of coverage, but in most of it you can't. You just can't get the coverage at all. It's like if I'm in my house, I get no actual telephone coverage from O2. Vodafone doesn't get any coverage. EE gets a little bit of coverage, very small amount, but it's not brilliant for making a call with. You have to go outside to get a decent connection, and even then it's only just about good enough for telephone. So this mast has finally materialised again. It was going to get built and then it got moved, but now it's got to the point of pre-planning, so they've sent this letter out to everybody, you know, for people to raise their concerns and stuff like that. And it's going on over Facebook at the minute. People are actually fighting and arguing all over like the Nafferton group page, and it's quite amusing to read, really. And I understand that, you know, the people that are saying what they're saying. What it is, it's the people that live on Eastlands, which is, it just runs next to like the end of where I live. And I travel along it to get home, basically. And when you go past the junction to where I live, it has taken a lot of a beating. It really has. It's the curbs are damaged, the footpaths are damaged, the grass verges are just ripped to shreds, and it was all caused by when they had the recreation club itself. They had a new clubhouse built. It's a beautiful clubhouse, done a great job. And it took the best part of a year, I think, was all the construction work on it. And it's never been put right. Nobody's come and put their hands up. You know, I mean, really, it should be down to liaising between highways and the company that did the work. But basically, the HGVs have done a lot of damage. I even saw a bloke come down there one night, and he got an immediate pinch flat blowout from hitting one of the ruts in the road, the pothole. I don't know whether he claimed to the council or not. He should have done. But that's what they're basing it all on, not wanting somebody to come along and do it. Now, obviously, the firms that put these up are much bigger firms than like your average sort of construction firm, so they're more likely to repair the damage to the road. But still, that is the number one worry. So they're saying we don't want a telecom tower here because they'll destroy our road. Well, You know, it's a fair thing to say, I suppose, but at the same time, you just think, well, hang on, you got to look at the bigger picture here. You need to drag some of these villages into the 21st century. I mean, you know, this village really is getting left behind with technology. It really is. It's unreal. But you know, and then people are saying, well, you can't base it just on that. You got to think about the bigger picture. So then the same people are then turning around and saying, well, what about the fact that they cause cancer or can do you damage to your brain and stuff like that? Especially since the people that work on them can only work for certain amounts of time and then have to come away from them. So, you know, they're raising all these other old debunked concerns and what have you to sort of try and fight the battle. I mean, at the end of the day, the place bloody needs one, it really does. So, I suppose we'll just have to wait and see what's going on with that. Right, anyway, guys, I'm about home. I've got to dash and get me tea, and I think I might have another run out, actually, I'm not sure. There's all sorts going on actually now that I think about it. So yeah, anyway guys, do take care of yourselves, and I will see you next time. Cheers guys, see ya.